Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good. You're sitting in a very uncomfortable, sitting arrangement for me. It looks like you're posing for a senior portrait where your arms are like in front of you and your body's twisted. It doesn't look very comfortable to me.
Do you know what doesn't look very
What's
comfortable?
that?
Like your red face and body because you are sunburned.
I am
No,
triggered
stop
by you
taking. You're
right
not taking
now.
pictures
No,
of
I'm
me.
taking pictures
Stop
so I
taking
can
pictures of
show
me.
I can show
Can you take
Instagram.
pictures of you and how red you are?
So I got very sunburned today, but I'm also really angry at you because right before I went into the bath, I was like, I think this is the worst sunburn I've had in my life. And you're like, I've seen worse because it's not as red. The reason it's not red is because it's like purple. Like I can't remember a time I've been this sunburned.
When we were in Ocean Isle,
My lips got
and
sunburned.
your lips were like, you were
I
like
think we've talked about this.
stiff.
So if you put Aquifer on your lips, I did not know
That since
that
it's
it
like putting
actually,
Crisco butter.
yeah,
It's
it's like
like
asking
putting.
the sun to come to your lips and then seal them.
It's like putting
So
cooking
they
oil.
blew up, and you thought I was lying. And then you saw them, you're like, holy crap, I look like a real housewife. But right now, this might be the worst sunburn I've ever had on my shoulders, ever. So we went to the Tigers game for Father's Day.
Correct.
They lost.
Yes.
And as we were walking in, it was supposed to be like 76 today or something, like not
Right.
hot. And I just
Correct.
wasn't thinking, so I didn't put sunscreen on. And as we were walking there, I'm like, this is probably gonna suck.
Because
And
you burn very easy.
turns out, basking in the sun for 3.5 hours with the sun just beating on you.
Because your ancestors were not good about being
Right.
in the sun.
I made your nephews laugh because I leaned forward and I was like, your white aunt is really struggling right now.
Yes.
And they laughed hard because
Your Irish and Polish genetics.
I literally
do
could
not
feel
do
my
well.
my skin burning. So I have a bad sunburn. It's gonna make it hard to sleep tonight. But I have this cooling blanket that I bought off of Amazon,
very
and
red.
it is cool. It is. I know I almost had you get me aloe. I might have you get me aloe. It really hurts. Like I'm gonna take Advil tonight. It hurts. It's bad. So anyway, we went to the Tigers game.
Took one
Lost.
for the team.
Yes, we celebrated the extravaganza of Father's Day.
Yes.
I hit it out of the park.
You did well this year.
I did.
Normally it's kind of resentment. It's like a resentment fest.
So I'll tell
So
you.
this year did not feel like resentment fest.
I did not resent you. It was a pleasure to celebrate you this year.
Oh.
And I think I realized why. Now that the kids are older, my vocation in terms of mother is a lot less laborious than it used to be. It's emotionally harder for sure, but like I used to say that Father's Day shouldn't be a thing because every day was Father's Day. And the reason that we had a Mother's Day is because of the amount of insane work that it is to raise children. So it is fair to say that for the first 10 years of our marriage, I was bitter every Father's Day. Like what is, you're getting a break from your break? Like, it's like absurd.
It's so absurd.
And
What's
so-
absurd is what you're saying. And you
But I
actually
mean
believe
it.
it.
Yeah, but I will tell you,
It's believed.
as the kids have gotten older, I can see a shift. Like I told you the other week, I'm like, I think actually you might do more than me in our household. Like you carry a lot of burdens and you have a very high pressure job and you help around the house. And like our friend was laughing at us today at Mass because you knew when the basketball camp was because you keep the family schedule basically. You don't really. I mean, you have to,
Well,
like, that's a little bit.
No, I get the emails
Yeah.
and I pay attention. I
Yeah,
know when
but
things are
let's
going
not act
on.
like you actually keep the logistics of the house going.
Oh, I
that
do,
would
100%.
no.
When
no,
is
no,
our
no.
kids' orthodontist appointment?
I have no idea.
Exactly. Case in point. When is our orthodontist appointment?
I know that physical's on Wednesday because you're making me take them.
Because I scheduled the physicals.
Yeah,
on
because you
Wednesday.
said you were going to take them, and then you told me last week
Right,
that I
had
have
to
to.
reschedule that.
So, anyways, it was a pleasure to celebrate you
Yes.
during this Father's Day, and celebrate we did.
Yes.
So, beginning on Tuesday, you got your first present. You got daily gifts.
That started Wednesday.
No, Tuesday you are something else. Tuesday you got your Crocs.
I think that was Wednesday.
Maybe it was Wednesday.
I think that was Wednesday.
I feel like it was Tuesday.
It was Tuesday.
No, I got to think about it. It was Tuesday because I did something silly on Wednesday. Wednesday was something silly.
No, Thursday was a silly.
Thursday, I got a gift card from work, a $10 gift card, and so I gave that to you. And I said, Happy Father's Day. Uh-huh.
I love it. I can't wait to use it.
Friday, you got your big gift, which was your Garmin watch.
Yes.
For running. Saturday, the kids gave you gifts. And then this morning, I took kids out at 6 a.m. to Walmart because they really wanted to buy you some things.
Yeah, I got a Zulu water bottle.
Walmart style water bottle.
It's leak proof.
Yep.
24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 11-ounce container of steak rub.
Uh-huh.
Pretty
Yep.
large, 11 ounces.
It's
quite a bit.
It's gonna keep you through
It's just
a couple
under
years.
a
I'm gonna
pound.
predict we're gonna throw that out in probably 5 years. We'll be like, this has to be expired.
I'm excited for some open flame grilling and smoking steaks and chops.
Yes.
With this seasoning.
Yes. We got you a Celsius in the flavor that you do not drink. The only one you don't drink.
I got a Celsius Live Fit Sparkling Pina Colada.
Correct.
However, what's in Pina Colada?
Coconuts. You don't drink it.
I do not drink coconuts.
You got a Snickers bar in your water bottle, which I thought was creative of one of your children.
I did get a Snickers, so I do like Snickers.
You have a lot of candy going on. Our neighbors gave you a lot of candy,
My neighbors gave us candy, so I have a lot of candy I need to parse through.
And then some grilling stuff today.
Yeah,
so I feel like you've really had an immaculate Father's Day experience.
Yeah, you did well. So
we went to Grand Valley. Thank you for those. We went to Grand Valley, your Mecca.
My alma mater.
Your Mecca.
We went to Grand Rapids the first Friday.
Stayed at a nice hotel, Embassy Suites. Weirdly enough, 3 Divine Child families there. That's weird.
Yes.
That's weird.
We would
that's weird.
We just end up when I went a couple years ago. My brother to Chicago in the same hotel as the Murray family
wedding. So I guess we just sometimes bump.
So we just keep bumping into people. We're so popular.
We're so popular
around this country. We just bump into people we know. So
yes. So we did. We ate at P.F. Chang's finally. I got a gift card for P.F. Chang's, so we made that happen.
I thought P.F. Chang's I was surprised. We have not eaten there in a long time.
It's good. It's
Why don't
fun.
we ever go there?
It's expensive for Chinese. Like it's a special
Chinese food.
It's a special occasion.
Because I feel like it's good, but I feel like you can get.
But 4 out of the 5 kids ate the things. I knew they would. I knew that the boys loved it.
Yes.
I mean, loved might be an exaggeration. They said they would never choose it, but they could eat it.
Yeah. But I feel like it's slightly better than the Chinese food we get on a normal week.
Right.
It was slightly upper, but I feel it was good food.
Yep. And then we went to Holland and we went to Lake Michigan.
We went to Holland first to go.
It was
Our first discussion was about the lake versus the ocean in terms of a beach.
Yeah.
I think the lake is just as good, if not better, than going to the ocean.
No.
For several reasons. So for one, it's a day trip, right? So going to the west side of the state, that's a day trip. That's 2.5 hours to get over to we went to Holland or Muskegon. 2.5 hours to get there. Flying to
Myrtle Beach is 1 hour and 45 minutes. Flying to Myrtle Beach is 1 hour and 45 minutes.
No, it's not 1 hour 45 minutes.
About that.
Anyway, but even if we flew to the west side of the state, that'd be a half-hour flight.
Right.
So it's 2.5 hours versus 15 hours driving.
Right.
It's fresh water versus salt water, so you're not worried about spitting up salt water. The waves are much calmer, so you're not worried about getting splashed in the face. It's actually a very nice blue water because the ocean water is dirty and there's no seaweed.
So I don't agree with you on anything. It doesn't. It smells gross, by the way. It smells like dead.
Smells gross.
It smelled like dead fish there for sure. The ocean smells like salt. It sounds so awesome as the waves crash. It's so much fun.
Burns you in the eyes.
No, the ocean is the ocean.
I would take the lake and the lake house because especially Lake Michigan because you can't see. I would be
so depressed if you made me go to because it's actually more expensive I think to stay on Lake Michigan than it would be to stay in an ocean front home. I would be so depressed. There's nothing about that I would want to do ever.
And it's better. I would say it's better than those man-made lakes and random parts.
Oh, totally. Yeah. No, I listen.
When you can see
Lake Michigan I will go in totally. Lake Michigan I will go in. I will Lake Michigan.
You can see Chicago.
I would totally take that over. You cannot see Chicago from Holland on a clear night. That is you just spread such fake news. No. You actually need to talk to Jesus.
There are certain parts of Lake. I didn't say from Holland. I'm saying
it's like a 4-hour car ride. No, but you can see Chicago.
It's 4 hours because you have to loop around. There's certain parts
that's crazy what you just said.
On a clear night, you can see the lights in Chicago across the lake.
This is really hard what you're talking about. We're not going to do this. No, yeah, if you're sitting 30 minutes, a town 30 minutes from Chicago, you'd be able to see it. That's crazy what you just said.
Anyway, I would take the lake. I would take the lake
from Grand Rapids. You can see Chicago on a clear night. I would not. So it was really cold, but the kids. So we didn't pack. The kids didn't wear swimsuits.
It was very cold.
I didn't think they'd go in, but of course I was wrong.
But they went in for 5 minutes, and they realized it was cold, and they got out.
Yes, one of our sons said something really funny that I'm not going to repeat here, but his body was in pain. Let's suffice to say, he was like, "Wow, that hurt."
Yeah, they're crazy.
So, We went to Holland, and then we drove to our hotel. We went swimming in the
Oh, yeah, we
hotel.
played the alphabet game on
We
our
did.
road
You and I
trip.
won
We won.
with a last second steal on the word yield. I got our Y. You got to give me my flowers for that too. All the
Well,
flowers.
I got Q and X, which are like the critical ones,
Totally. X is weight because there's plenty of yield signs. Like that's not.
but I got the Q and the X, which
Yeah.
are very difficult to
The
get.
boys, Aaron is literally the worst
He
sport in the
was a very
universe.
poor sport.
I don't know what to. I hate that our kids are poor sports.
He's very competitive. When he loses, he's just
Yeah,
becomes
but
a baby.
you can lose and be bummed. Our kids have always been like that, like cry when
He
they
was a
lose,
weenie.
or they act like it wasn't fair, and I'm like, just lose, just like
Because we were lucky because to get to Holland, you have to go through Zealand, which starts with the letter Z. So there were Z's everywhere, and Z's can be very tough
but
to find.
neither of us had Y's, so
But
we
it
were
was Z's were all over the place.
we were surrounded by Y's, but we needed
But we won.
I'm sorry, we were surrounded by Z's. Yes, we did win. So, and then of course, and I checked, and the people will remember. Well, I need to say this. Yet another moment to get my flowers. As we were packing the van to go to Grand Rapids, the car sounded horrific. And I said, "Hey, don't you think the van sounds weird?" And you said, "No, it sounds fine," which is crazy that you said, like, that was gaslighting. I need you to say that. You were like, "No, it sounds fine."
Fine. I mean, it sounds is a relative.
Like it was like
sounds is a relative term.
So
I don't listen
I
to
got
the
in the van
sounds.
on Tulipwood in Livonia, and I said to the children, there is no way we are making this trip happen without something major happening to the van, and I'm excited for your daddy to see that occur. And sure enough, when we were driving, we went to Grand Valley. First of all, we spent the day at your college. We saw your old dorm room. It was a little crazy. We'll get to the van in a second. It was fun to be at Grand Rapids for you and Allendale. What is the school called? Grand Valley
Grand Valley
State.
State University,
Right.
home of the Lakers.
We saw your dorm room. We snuck into the
Freshman
academic
dorm.
building. We weren't supposed to be in there. Nobody was in there, and all the doors were locked. We snuck in because of
Yeah, but it's
maintenance.
academic. Like there's just
I'm not
classrooms.
mad about it. I'm not mad about it.
So yeah, we walked around
Uh-huh.
my alma mater, which is
Yep.
good.
It was good.
Because it's a good sized campus. It's no Michigan or Michigan
I
State.
would be really happy if our kids went there. I would. The boys played football in the field with the girls. It was
Yeah,
fun.
you can get onto the field, the football field.
It was fun. It was great fun. We had great fun.
Yeah, a lot of. What's
Yeah.
crazy is that, like we said, in 4 years, like we could be those parents, like dropping our kids off because
Yeah.
they had the signs up for like orientation.
Yeah.
Welcome. Did you go to your Did you remember going to yours?
Our orientation was right before school started, and my youth minister got married, so I missed our orientation, which sucked because then I knew no one, and I was in Steubenville, Ohio, not a single soul.
Which is like one of the worst.
Was your orientation attached to when you went to school?
We had two.
Okay.
Like I remember, right when because I was mixed. I was gonna. So I got it. Grand Valley was my third choice. I think I talked about this before. I got accepted 3 schools. I accepted
Make
Michigan.
long story short.
Michigan State, Grand Valley.
Mhm.
Grand Valley was my third choice, but then I
Right.
got the financial aid, and I said I'm not going to any school. I'm going to Grand Valley. So at
Yeah.
that point, I accepted it, and then my
Wait,
dad.
you got invited? You got accepted to Michigan State?
Yeah, but I never
Michigan
got
and-
financial
okay.
aid, so I just.
Okay.
And it was too expensive. I wasn't gonna go to either
That's
of those.
smart,
So Grand
yeah.
Valley was like the third option.
And you did get into Michigan with
And I filled it out with like a pencil.
a 3.4 grade point average. You got into
Sure.
Michigan
Back
completely
in the early
on
2000s.
completely on merit.
Yes.
Nothing else.
Completely.
Nothing else.
Anyway,
There would be no other reason
anyway,
to give
orientation.
young Aaron Christopher Wilkerson to allow you to go to the University of Michigan with a 3.4
Anyway.
grade point average. That's very normal. Go ahead. I'm ready. I'm with you.
Yes, I remember. Like at the last second, be like, I'm going to school. So my dad and I went back up there, and they did like a tour.
Yeah.
And like a quick orientation. But I think the weekend we started, like the weekend before school started, you moved your stuff in, and they did another orientation.
Yeah, for like all the freshmen.
Yeah, that weekend. So you moved into your dorms, and they had like all these different things.
It's a nice campus. I would imagine I would feel very good about leaving a kid there.
And I didn't have a car.
Right.
Which was not a problem because everyone in my dorm had a car. 'Cause they all lived nearby, so I got around easily. And I took the bus. So anytime I wanted to go home, I took the Greyhound bus from Grand Rapids to Lansing to home. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
A lot of
So
memories. If it was for Grand Valley, we would not have met either. So,
right. Because that Grand Valley is where you met Auntie Allison.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That would be your college girlfriend.
Correct.
And then, is this making you nervous? And I'm okay. Our children call her Auntie Allison.
You just name the name.
They've never met her.
Um,
And then you met her there, and then volunteered at a youth group. You guys broke up because of that youth group. Is when you and I met. The rest is history.
Correct.
So our children
It's a lot
reference
of
Auntie
history.
Allison a lot. Anyway, so we walked around. It was nice. We get in the car to go to Yester Dog, which is your spot with boiled hot dogs. And we got in the car and we're driving, and I smell something. And of course, like, how long were the lights on? Were you ever going to tell me?
Yeah, I think they like just turned
Okay.
on.
So I smell something and I look over and there's lights on the dashboard. It's like blinking warnings. The engine light is blinking. I look it up on my phone and it's like, if your check engine light is blinking on your dashboard, your car is going to explode and you need to pull off right now.
But so two things. First off, we found out that the smell wasn't related.
Yeah,
Like it was
right,
just the smell.
right.
But the second thing is the problem with looking things up. It's like the same thing that says like if your child is coughing, they could have like what's the
No,
like the
bro,
walking
we're not. You
pneumonia.
actually even said, and I appreciate you're like, I'm not gaslighting you. I understand this is a
Right,
serious issue.
but it's not like I'm talking about what you found on the internet was like your car could be dying. Like
Listen,
pull
what
over
it
right
ultimately,
now.
no, I was joking. It didn't actually say that, but ultimately it said if you keep driving, you're going to create bigger damage. But what option did we have? Like, we're in Grand Rapids. And
Correct.
so we went to Yesterdog and just enjoyed that. And then you just cool as a freaking cucumber. I wrote about this on social media. It is so weird how you respond to these things. You were not a second shook. You're like, that's fine. We'll rent a car. And
Well, we've in the what 23 years of driving,
yeah,
I have come across some very crazy situations with vehicles.
yeah.
This was not, I don't know, this was maybe top five, but I've had some worse
But we were like 3 hours
situations.
from home, 2.5
But we
hours
had a
from home.
drivable vehicle.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the car was drivable. If the car had shut down
Right.
and we were on
But
the
we
side of
didn't
the
know if it was
road,
going to shut down.
correct, but at
Yeah.
that point, it was still drivable.
Yeah, no, you were very calm.
So
You're,
that was
you're
like,
just you're
we
just
have
a
a way to
problem
get
solver.
home.
So we decided to rent a car because we didn't know if it was going to break down. I mean,
Correct.
there was a good chance that it could have broke down. So
Yeah.
we rented a car, and then I drove the rental car behind your car, which behind our van, which did make it all the way to Livonia.
Yeah, we made it home.
Yeah.
On the,
The exhaust pipe was like puffing black smoke every.
that stopped though. You said.
No, it continued. I just didn't call you every time it occurred. It would just puff out black smoke, just puff. So we don't know what it is. We think there's a good chance that our van might be passing on. What's funny though is that the listeners will remember that we discussed our van extensively
But
right here on this podcast.
but you were gonna. I didn't bring it up because I just moved past it
Yeah.
because I'm not petty.
Right. I'm super petty.
But we talked about this in January.
So
it
I
happened
looked
in
it up
January,
and I said
and you
within
said 3 months.
Did I say 3 or 6?
You said 3 months.
Are you
I
sure I
remember
said 3?
because I was gonna bring it up in April, but I
Okay.
said, you know what, I'm gonna move past
Okay.
it because I'm the bigger person. I'm
Right.
not
So
petty.
it did make it 6 months.
It made it another. It made it 6 months.
And I do like that now this is not becoming a situation that's going to bring us to the brink of divorce because you
No.
are acknowledging there is a good chance we're going to need a new van at this point.
Yeah, I think now
Yeah.
is the clock is ticking.
Yeah.
We just got to.
How many miles are on her? I mean, we've got a lot of miles on her.
150,000.
Is that a lot? I feel like that's a lot. It's not insignificant.
Depends on the
Yeah.
the thing.
So we're
But no, I think I was not because if the car was not drivable, if it just shut down, we were on the side of the road, then it's like a. But I think it was during the day though. If this was like
yeah,
at
I
night,
think if it shut down in the middle of the road, you wouldn't even care. You'd be
no,
like,
if
okay,
it
we're
shut
gonna
down,
call.
no,
You're
if
gonna
it shut down in the middle of the night and we were like
Yeah.
in the middle of like nowhere, that's when you're like, okay, we're gonna do. But like the situation was such that like it was like an easy
Yeah.
solution. Like you just
Malia told me I put this on Facebook too. Did you see this? She literally said, "Mom, you need to get calm down pills."
yeah, because you start they start crying in the back because you're like freaking out, and our kids don't handle it. They like jump like the three youngest. They all like they start to freak out because you're
Yeah.
like making them think that the car is gonna blow up.
I mean, I thought
And like
maybe it
Malia's
was for a
crying in the
second.
back with her head
When
down.
it was smelling, which I acknowledge was not our car, when it was smelling, I literally was like, this car could blow up. We need to pull over.
No, I think one of the worst is when we were going to Kentucky with Shawnee and Kylie, and like we had like a flat tire, so we were like
Yeah.
we had to drive like 100 miles on like a spare tire,
Yeah.
and it was New Year's Eve,
Right.
so I had
Nothing
to go.
was open. Yeah, that's
so I had
right.
to go to a car repair shop and
Right.
pretty much beg and be like, hey, like it was at nighttime. I was
Yeah.
like, I know it's New Year's Eve. I was like, I need to get home tomorrow.
Yeah.
We had to go home,
Yeah.
and I was like, just put anything. I was like, I don't care. Put anything on this car because I need to get home.
It's so funny.
And they were nice enough to help us out, but that was even worse. We were just on a spare tire
Yeah.
for like almost 2 hours
Yeah.
going to Kentucky.
Yeah. Yeah, I have pictures of us the kids sitting on the roof of the car as you were trying to troubleshoot that. So anyway, so that was that. Father's Day weekend was great. I finished my job. I am not a director of campus ministry anymore. Praise the Lord.
Correct.
Cannot wait. Get to ease into summer. So our house, we're literally living in squalor right now. I can't handle our
Because the
living
painter's
space.
done. We haven't
Yeah.
talked since the painter's finished
Right, so the
either.
painter's finished. It's beautiful.
The painter's
Guys,
finished before we left.
I mean, I'm going to just shout out, if anybody needs painting, first of all, the company, we didn't find through like a Catholic organization. It's so important to name that. And their company's name was JMJ. And I'm like, there's no way that this is Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Because when I was little, I was homeschooled religion classes.
Yeah, I was not.
Through Seton homeschooling. You were not. But we used to have to write JMJ on the top of every paper. So anyways, when the guy came over to give us our quote, I'm like, I just got to ask, what's the JMJ about? And he's like, well, it's Jesus, Mary, Joseph. And he went into the story about how they were struggling as a painting company. His mom was like, just pray through this intercession. His mom homeschooled his siblings with Seton homeschooling. And they used to have to write J&J on the top of their papers. And I'm like, holy crap.
You're like, fellow Catholic nerd.
Stop it. And he's not a Catholic nerd, I don't think. But he did name his company off of this. He did a stunning job.
Him and his son.
For such a reasonable rate that I still can't believe it.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I actually told him on the last day, I was like, I actually think you need to raise your prices. And he doesn't want to.
No.
He likes his model of being as fair as possible. He's like, a lot of people do inflate their prices when the market goes nuts. I'm not going to. It was like half the cost of what people were saying our house was going to be. I was stunned.
It's just a weird field where people just charge random things.
Yeah.
And
so if anybody listening needs a painter, our house looks beautiful.
It took a week, so it took them longer. So our main floor was kind of in disarray for a little bit because like they had to
which is why we're living in squalor because
there was like
we just had to move out piles of stuff.
We had to put a bunch of stuff in the garage to make. So we were very smart to not do our bedrooms because that would have been.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That would have been crazy.
But I mean, my bedroom right now looks terrible too because we just have piles everywhere. So starting tomorrow, we'll start to put.
Well, luckily you're not working, so you can
I know that's why this happened. Is I said it's summer break, so this first week I really plan on getting the boys ready for camp and then really reorganizing our house, which will be great.
Yes, because a week from now our boys will be at camp.
Yes,
so our next episode will be after we drop them off.
We love dropping them off.
I tell everyone it's a good.
Here's the thing.
It's a good thing for both sides.
I love them. I miss them. They have so much fun. Our house has a whole different vibe
with just the girls.
With just the girls. I mean, it is freaking magical.
It's quiet.
It's quiet. It's lovely. It's dainty. It's like there's no fighting really. The girls will squabble, but they don't like.
They resolve it.
Like right away. They flare up and then they calm down. There's no rough housing. It's magical.
For 2 weeks.
I know, 2 full weeks. I'm really looking forward to that. I might go to Kentucky during those 2 weeks. Still trying to figure it out. Are you saying no because of the car?
No, I'm saying I'm not.
Right, you weren't going to. Do you feel like now we can't afford it? Because our rental car was $500. Let's tell the people that. That is stunning to me. I don't think we've ever paid $500 for a rental car.
No, we were in a weird situation. It was a weird situation because it was a one-way. Well, first off, First off, we had to get a van, right? So if it was like a regular car, that would be fine. But getting minivans are more expensive. And it was one way because we weren't going back to drop it off. So you could only rent it one way to drop it off a different location, which a lot of places don't offer that. So, it was more expensive.
Yeah. So I don't know if you're still going to let me go to my sister's. But we also have to decide what car we're going to get next. I really do think a Transit, but not really because we can't fit it places. I want a bigger car. Our minivan for 5 kids is a little tight. It is, honey. It is.
Yeah, but in 3 years, they're gone. I mean, like how many 18-year-olds do you see riding in a 7-passenger van?
It's true. I know. That's what you keep saying. Great.
Like also, these aren't new problems. Like there's families who have much more kids than us,
and they get Transits.
Who did not? They did not buy.
Yeah, they do. They buy the 15-seaters.
That's a modern thing. I'm saying.
I don't know a single. Oh, back in the day before you had to drive places, or like.
Are you
talking about your parents? Like.
Correct. Like, and they did road trips.
They did not. How did they do road trip with their 10 kids?
What? Either they wouldn't do road trips, or they would take 2 cars. They would take multiple vehicles.
Right.
No, Transits. I'm not. That's like a hard no. It's just for many reasons.
Yeah. Anything else we need to talk about? Tiger's great.
Anniversary.
Oh yeah, we did have our anniversary, which was great. 15 years.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Long time.
We went to the London Chop House, which we both said we'd totally go to again.
Yes.
That was a good fancy meal.
Very old school steakhouse.
Yeah, and the vibe was great. Yeah. The food was great. The drinks were great. I loved it. And it felt nice to go on a date with you. I feel like we haven't gone on a date in a long time. I do feel like we're like a little disconnected right now.
I don't think we're disconnected.
You never feel that way.
We have this podcast.
Right.
So
the podcast brings us together. It's the thing. It's saving our marriage.
Once a week.
Saving our
You're
marriage.
welcome was my idea, but no, it was good. The food was good.
Yeah, the food was great.
Except my dessert wasn't great, but the
Yeah.
steak was good.
Okay.
I think I have it. I saved it.
You didn't eat your dessert?
No, the steak. I didn't finish it. I still
Oh,
have it
well,
here.
you should
I
eat
just
it.
I just realized that.
You should eat it. Maybe you could have it for
Um,
dinner tonight.
I already had dinner. No, that was good.
Any pressing topics you want to hit today? I can't think of any.
No,
I can't think of any. This was just a really quick um, catch up.
yeah, just to catch
I've
up.
reached my peace with Father's Day. We're going to be getting a new van. We celebrated our anniversary. I'm done with work for the summer.
You're free now.
I'm
You've
free.
got 2 months of freedom.
I got to prep for my new job.
Yeah, you'll be spending the next 9 weeks prepping.
Listen, that's what the teachers say. They say that they don't get a summer break. That
So
summer break is not what you think it is.
We'll be doing weekly updates on how many hours you're spending working, versus just at the pool chilling.
I'm going to chill a lot at the pool.
By the pool.
I've already read one book and one half a book. So, yeah, it's good. I can't think of anything pressing, so I think that might be it. Oh, did you want to go to one of those Not My King protests? Not My King, King no more.
No kings.
No king, you are not my king.
I think it's just no kings.
Does that mean that we are not a monarchy? Is that the statement it's trying to make?
Dictatorship. I think.
I want to talk about something. It's political.
I don't understand what the.
I want to talk about something political.
What's that?
And I don't know if I'm misunderstanding this. So I have not, as you know, I don't read the news. I don't like crazy deep dive, whatever. I think that the no king, I could be completely inaccurate in what I'm saying right now. I think that the no king protest,
which was Saturday, yesterday.
Yes, was that yesterday, Saturday?
They were yesterday.
They were in direct response to the military parade that Trump was organizing. Now, I heard from many of people that the military parade was a birthday parade for President Trump, that he was throwing himself a birthday parade with like all of our military vehicles. And I'm like, well, that's a little weird. Everything he does, I think, is a little weird. But then yesterday, I see on social media, it's like the 250th anniversary of the United States Army, which is why they had, let me look this up. But it was like it was an anniversary of the military, that's totally appropriate parade to have.
Well, this started in his first term. So in his first term, there's something that like France does, what is it called? I think like Bastille Day. So they do some of the similar thing where they kind of have the military kind of march down.
Yeah, the Army celebrated its 250th anniversary, which is why they did this parade. But then right here, okay, so that's what it says, right? That yesterday, June 14th, the Army was celebrating its 250th anniversary with a parade and celebration in Washington, D.C., which is a definite pomp and circumstance. But that's like an appropriate thing to do for the Army. You scroll down, and Rolling Stone's headline says, Donald Trump's military birthday parade was a gross failure. And I'm like, maybe they were saying it's a military birthday. I feel like people were saying that.
I didn't think they were connected. I thought this was complete. I thought that was
no. So it's like,
I thought the protest.
But I thought people were saying that he was throwing a parade for himself, which he completely was not doing. No. Okay.
I thought it was related to all the ICE, like the.
Wait. Okay. No. This is factual. So Trump's actual birthday is June 14th as well. See, all these things are colliding. So our people on the progressive side are like, Trump is throwing himself a military parade.
I thought the protests were about something else.
No, they're because basically they're like all these military. They're like what they're hearkening images of like Nazi Germany and the parades of soldiers that they would have.
But there's other countries that do that. Like I remember the first term, I think France does it a lot. They do like the military marches through like tanks and stuff, and he was like, "Oh, that's a pretty cool thing. We should do something like that." But they didn't want to do it in DC. They're like, it would just destroy all the roads. It was like it's too much. So my guess is this is like a.
But my only point is that it is a very appropriate thing, I think, to have a military parade for the Army's 250th anniversary. Like, to me, that's an appropriate.
Well, we do parade
action.
Like July 4th. Right. We have like police officers.
But like the Army celebrating the Army it's just crazy how it was spun. I don't care about the No King protest in that. I'm not like a wild supporter of Trump. I think we're living in wild times. I don't care about the political world. But I do think it's important that our narratives are at least based in reality. So Trump was not throwing himself a parade. It was a parade for the 250th anniversary of the Army. That is a different thing than what I heard it was going to be about. Amen.
Yeah, it's all confusing because I don't follow enough. So
Right.
I just see that there's like all these protests, and I was like, I don't. I mean, when we were in Grand Rapids, there was people on the streets, couple people on the street
That Holland,
protesting.
yeah, they were like, it was cute.
So it's like I don't know.
Right.
To me, it's like, hey, he's still
I feel
your.
like you're not. I feel like you're not as indignant as I am about the false narrative presented by our media that Trump was
But
throwing himself a
that's
birthday
not a new
parade.
thing though. Well, I don't know enough. I can't
I
speak to
just told
that.
you. I just showed you the
But
articles. I just showed you on my phone that
but
it said it was a parade for the 250th anniversary of the Army, and then right under that, the
no,
Rolling
I'm
Stone.
talking about the people though who are like.
I just don't know. I just can't handle it.
But to me, like, at the end of the day, he's still your president. You still got 3 more years. Like, so to me, I don't know. Like, the protesting, I don't understand the protests because he was voted in by
I don't
the
know. Waffle
majority.
protests.
He was voted in, like, the
Whatever.
majority. Like, he got the popular vote.
I
He
don't
won,
know.
and he's gonna be the president for the next 3 years.
Now,
So,
I do have one more thing to
like,
say that I'm egreged about.
yeah,
And then we can be done with this podcast. When we pulled into Yesterdog, which was the restaurant you wanted to go to, there was a street fair happening. And we pulled into the parking lot at Yesterdog, and there was a woman. I am still so upset about this.
you were very upset by this.
I hate is a strong
This really
word.
chapped your butt.
There was a woman standing in a spot, saving a spot for her daughter's vehicle. So like we were looking for a spot,
There's an open
and
spot.
a human being
but
was
she
standing in it,
there.
and just standing there.
And you had asked her, and she's like, "Oh, my daughter is like 2 cars behind you guys."
Yeah, and I'm saving the
And
spot
you're
for
not
her.
a fan of that.
No.
Which I've seen that before.
I've seen it get ripped apart on social media. I've never seen it in real life. The entitlement of human beings. I can't imagine.
So you think that this was something where like she was dropped off?
Yes, to save a spot.
And she said, "Save a spot for me."
Right.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of saving
No.
spots.
And she probably had a spot, right? So she gets out of the car. She's waiting for her daughter to pull up. No, I'm egreged by it.
Yeah, I think you just got to find a different spot.
So those are the two things that are really chapping my behind today. But whatever. I'm sunburned. I'm cranky. But I get to sleep in tomorrow. I'm shutting all the blinds. I'm turning the fan on high. I'm not waking up until I want to wake up tomorrow.
Which is like 6:00.
Probably, maybe,
Ooh,
maybe
6:00 instead
no,
of
maybe
5:00.
7:30. We'll see. I've been struggling to sleep.
You're so hardcore.
Okay, have a great week, family. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Will you actually publish this one?
I published all
No,
of
you
them.
didn't. Last week you didn't. I kept looking for
You
it
mean
so that I
post-
could.
No, define publish.
It took 2 days before you published it. Tell the truth.
No, no. You just said I don't publish them.
No, you published them like 2 days later.
Okay, but that's different
Then
than saying I
it's
don't
irrelevant.
publish them.
Like we should post this on Father's
What do you
Day.
mean irrelevant?
This is a Father's Day discussion. I don't want to post it 3 days
Okay.
later.
That's fine.
Okay, great. Good talk.
Thank you, sir.
Have a great week, fam.